Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today's topic is not only current, but very, very important. And the topic is Indian cuisine, the lever for soft power. Indian cuisine consists of a variety of regional and traditional cuisines native to the Indian subcontinent. Given the diversity in soil, climate, culture, ethnic groups, and occupations, these cuisines vary substantially and use locally available spices, herbs, vegetables, and fruits. Indian food is also heavily influenced by the religion, in particular Hinduism and Islam, cultural choices, and traditions. Historical events such as invasion, trade relations, and colonialism have played a role in introducing certain food to this country. The Columbian discovery of the New World brought a number of new vegetables and fruit to India. A number of these, such as potatoes, tomatoes, chilies, peanuts, and guava, have become staples in many regions of India. Indian cuisine has shaped the history of international relations. The spice trade between India and Europe was the primary catalyst for Europe's age of discovery. Spices were brought from India and traded around Europe and Asia. Indian cuisine has influenced other cuisines across the world, especially those from Europe, especially Britain, the Middle East, Southern Africa, East Africa, Southeast Asia, North America, Mauritius, Fiji, Oceania, and the Caribbean. Indian cuisine reflects an 8,000-year history of various groups and cultures interacting with the Indian subcontinent, leading to diversity of flavors and regional cuisines found in modern-day India. Later, trade with British and Portuguese influence added to the already diverse Indian cuisine. After 9000 BCE, a first period of indirect contact between Fertile Crescent and Indus Valley seems to have occurred as a consequence of the Neolithic Revolution and the diffusion of agriculture. Around 7000 BCE, agriculture spread from the Fertile Crescent to the Indus Valley, and wheat and barley began to be grown. Sesame and humped cattle were domesticated in the local farming communities. Megra is one of the earliest sites with evidence of farming and herding in South Asia. From circa 4500 to 1900 BC, the rulers of Lower Mesopotamia were Sumerians who spoke a non-Indo-European and non-Semitic language, may have initially come from India and may have been related to the original Dravidian population of India. By 3000 BCE, turmeric, cardamom, black pepper, and mustard were harvested in India. From around 2350 BCE, the evidence for imports from the Indus to Europe in Mesopotamia have been found, as well as clove heads, which are thought to originated from Moluccas in maritime Southeast Asia, were found in a 2nd millennium BC site in Thraka. Akkadian Empire records mentioned timber, carnelian, and ivory as being imported from Melua by Meluans ships, Melua being generally considered as the Mesopotamian name for the Indus Valley civilization. The ancient Hindu text Mahabharata mentions rice and vegetable cooked together, and the word pulao or palau is used to refer to the dish in ancient Sanskrit works such as Yajnavalika Smriti. Ayurveda, ancient Indian system of wellness, deals with holistic approach to wellness, and it includes food, dhyan, that is meditation, and yoga. Early diet in India mainly consisted of legumes, vegetables, fruits, grains, dairy products, and honey. Staple foods eaten today include a variety of lentils, dal, whole wheat flour, atta, rice, and pearl millet, bajra, which has been cultivated in the Indian subcontinent since 6200 BCE. Over time, segments of the population embraced vegetarianism during the Sarmana movement Shamar movement, which an equitable climate permitted a variety of fruits, vegetables, and grains to be grown throughout the year. A food classification systems that categorized any item as sattvic, rasic, or tamasic developed in yoga tradition. The Bhagavad Gita proscribes certain dietary practices. It is mentioned in chapter 17, verses 8 to 10. Consumption of beef is taboo due to cows being considered sacred in Hinduism. Beef is generally not eaten by Hindus in India except for Kerala, part of southern Tamil Nadu, and the northeast. Indians consider a healthy breakfast important. They generally prefer to drink tea or coffee with breakfast. Through food preferences vary regionally. North Indians people prefer roti, parathas, and a vegetable dish accompanied by achar, a pickle, and some curd. Various types of packaged pickles are available in the market. One of the oldest pickle making companies in India is Har Narayan's, which started in the 1860s in Old Delhi. People of Gujarat prefer dhokla and milk, while South Indians prefer idli and dosa, generally accompanied by sambar or sagu and various chutneys. Traditional lunch in India usually consists of a main dish of rice in the south and east and whole wheat rotis in the north. It typically includes 2 or 3 kinds of vegetables and sometimes items such as kulcha, naan, or parathas. Pan, stuffed, spiced, and folded betel leaves, which aids digestion, is often eaten after lunch and dinner in many parts of India. Indian families often gather for evening snacks time, similar to tea time, to talk and have tea and snacks. Dinner is considered the main meal of the day. Also, many households, especially in North and Central India, prefer having sweets after the dinner, similar to the Western concepts of dessert after meals. In politics, and particularly in international politics, soft power is the ability to attract and co-opt rather than coerce. In other words, soft power involves shaping the preferences of others through appeal and attraction. A defining feature of soft power is that it is non-coercive. The currency of soft power includes culture, political values, and foreign policies. When one country gets other countries to want what it wants might be called cooperative or soft power, in contrast with the hard or command power of ordering others to do what it wants. Analysts and statesmen brought the term into wide use in the international affairs. The Soft Power 30, an annual index published by Portland Communications and the USC Center on Public Diplomacy for 2021, ranked the Germany as the leading sovereign state in soft power. Other leading countries in soft power include France, United Kingdom, the United States, Japan, Canada, Switzerland, Sweden, and the Netherlands, Australia, and Denmark. Now, to discuss this very, very important topic, Indian cuisine, the lever for soft power, we have a very elite, knowledgeable, experienced, those who are authority in this particular field. Panelists are with us, and I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and he is Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS. Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS is one-man expert commission on labor to prepare an action plan for the welfare and development of the workforce in the context of COVID-19. He is also the principal advisor, National Heritage Project. He was former head of the Disaster Management, Government of India, and Central Draft Relief Commissioner, Government of India. He was the Vice Chancellor of National Museum, University of Delhi. To his credit, 300 publications, including 45 books in English, Malayalam, and Hindi novels, short stories, and essays. 4 of his books have become bestsellers. One book of his on housing received prestigious the Sharjah International Book Fair Award. Dr. Bose is an housing expert, innovator, writer, orator, and visionary. The path-breaking institutions set up by him, such as Narmati Kendra Building Center, District Tourism Council, and Habitat Alliance, have been replicated at the state, national, and global level. He was the head of the prestigious Supreme Court Committee on the Treasurers of Sri Padmanabha Swami Temple. Dr. Bose had a divine mission of coordinating the design and construction of the Sanctum Sanctorum of Chakkulatukavu Temple. Dr. Bose addressed United Nations General Assembly and specialized sessions 5 times on various international issues. Dr. Bose is a recipient of 31 national and international awards, including United Nations Global Best Practice Award. He also received prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru Fellowship. Kerala government termed him Lord of Ideas. Former Prime Minister Mr. Manmohan Singh called him inspired civil servant, and our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Modi called him Man of Ideas. Welcome, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, on our show. Dr. Bose, today's topic is quite different what we used to discuss every time. And the topic is different because we are talking about the Indian cuisine. But the main thing is about the lever for soft power. And as you are the champion of soft power, and you have submitted your report also to the government, and you are advocating very, very vigorously about the soft power to be used by India for culture, art, and many other things. We would like to know your views on Indian cuisine, the lever for soft power. Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, IAS, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel. As they say, the way to the heart is through the stomach. The importance of cuisine in building the soft power of a state is not well explored. I had the opportunity to recently visit the Kunnatur Mana resorts, where I could experience the amazing recipes which were prepared there during the food festival organized by Sri Shine, the young chef who is now present here. I could understand with my own palate that food can certainly become a great instrument or lever for soft power, from what I would experience from my young friend Shine. That set me think about projecting cuisine as one of the most important levers in projecting the soft power of India. Shine told me, and we all know, that the Chinese, they have been able to market the concept of Chinese food throughout the world. The Thai government gives support to anyone who sets up a Thai restaurant anywhere in the world. India has a great culinary tradition. Our street food, our mama's food, our grandma's food is hailed high the world over. But somehow, we have not been able to develop a respect for our traditional food in the youngsters and the new generation. That is why, when we have such a plethora of recipes, various types of cuisine, we are after the Americans and the West as far as food taste is concerned. I read recently, there was a report which was published in the Journal of Clinical Investigation in 2009. That was an analysis of the ill effects of the Big Mac, that is McDonald's product, Big Mac. It said, Big Mac is not going to kill you, but if you consume it twice a week, your chances of getting type 2 diabetes increases by 27%. With the eminent dietitian here, I do not want to go into the details about this because I am not equipped for that. But the fact remains that India has a great tradition of ethnic cuisine, which is rooted in Ayurveda, which is rooted in the herbs, which is rooted in the natural products. If that is rediscovered, repacked, rejigged, and rebooted, there is a great source of strength as far as our soft power is concerned in our cuisine. This is the attempt which I saw reflected in what Shine has been doing. And now he has presented here that he already has got 3 such cafes or restaurants in Kollam. Kollam happens to be the district where I was district collector. I understand from various sources that many are now getting interested in Shine's products and also the culture of Indian cuisine which he is trying to promote. As they say, may the tribe multiply. May such institutions which cater to the requirements of modern taste using ancient herbal cuisine multiply. That will be good for the country, good for the world. Now coming to the fast food culture, which is developing all over us, I think it's a very pernicious culture. See, studies are revealed that the calorie content which is there, and taking McDonald's as an instance, there are of course other similar fast food joints also. A new taste has been inculcated and all kinds of unhealthy practices have been dinned into the ears of the younger generation, causing diseases through food. Sharira madhyam khali dharma sadhanam. We are all told, mens sana in corpore sana, a sound mind in a sound body. Medicine, the best medicine is food. Or let the experts here say that it all depends on what you eat, how you process it, how you eat. Your immunity level goes up. Food decides whether you are a healthy man or not. Somehow this culture has been given the go by. That culture has to come back. Recently, I happened to listen to a video which was popularized in the Malayalam media. Jackfruit is something which is very common in the state. I know in my younger days, jackfruit was used plenty in the village areas. Now nobody wants it. That shrine could have some 16 or 17 items made of jackfruit alone. There was an international jackfruit festival a few years back. I happened to be the chairman of that committee. I think we have to revive the old world charm of the Indian cuisine. Mama's food, grandma's food has become dear to the new generation. During the lockdown days of the COVID, we found that Mama's food tastes very good. We lost our taste. In fact, we had to revive it. And soft power is something which will go a long way in making a nation great and strong. China has realized it, UK has realized it, France has realized it. Do you know, India, which has such a great tradition and culture and heritage, we are not even the first 30 in the whole world as far as soft power is concerned. Therefore, using food as a lever for soft power, India has done. And let us not forget, here, during his introductory address, Goel said about Mahabharata and the type of food that are mentioned here. Do you know that the one king who could demonstrate the value of soft power in the Mahabharata war was the king of Udupi? When the king of Udupi went to join the war, he found that almost all kings had taken straight side, either with the Kauravas or with the Pandavas. And he was a little late. So he hit upon an idea. Why not I serve both the armies? That is not a peaceful proposition in a war. Either you have to be here or you have to be there. But he hit upon the idea, why not I feed both the soldiers? See, at the end of the war, when they come, both sides have to eat. So he decided to provide food for both the sides. And he had a way of cooking exactly the amount of food that was required the next day. He will go to Lord Krishna. After each day's war, Lord Krishna relaxes over a cup of wine of those days, Soma. He will be having nuts to eat with that. Udupi king will count the number of nuts which the Lord has consumed. He will multiply it by 1,000, which means in tomorrow's war, so many number will die. So he knows exactly what will be the food requirement the next day. The king of Udupi prepared food, good food for both the sides, and in an exact manner, number that was required. For this, he used the traditional cuisine. Traditional cuisine was used as the most important soft power in the Mahabharata war by the king of Udupi. As the days are coming back, India needs to strengthen its soft power. That is why, as Mr. Goel has told you, there was a one-man commission appointed by the government during the COVID days to study the impact of COVID on the workforce and make recommendations. That commission was also empowered to prepare a report on the soft power of India. That report has been submitted to the Prime Minister and to the Government of India. That report is called Kala Kranti. In that report, dance, music, painting, art, culture, heritage, everything was discussed as a means of soft power. But the most important factor of soft power, that is cuisine, that was left out. So it may be a chance meeting, but a providential meeting that I had with the Shine in that hotel or in that resort during the food festival which he has organized. There is a strong case for including Indian cuisine, developing it as the biggest, most important lever for soft power. I think during this discussion here, I'm sure that a lot of ideas will emerge, which for the information of Mr. Goel and also the participants who are here, I will give a supplementary note to the Government of India on how to use traditional herbal food cuisine as a lever for India's soft power. So I wait here to listen to the words straight from the horse's mouth. I'm sure that this will be a turning point, something great, a game changer will take place as a result of this discussion. Let food be used, let cuisine be used as the most important lever for soft power of this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, for giving your views. And as Dr. C.V. Anand Bose has mentioned that how the soft power was used earlier in the country when he mentioned about the king of Udupi, how he has served the food for both the Kauravas and Pandavas forces, they were fighting. And he also mentioned that unfortunately India is not in among the 30 in the top 30 index of the soft power, which is as the report is that Germany is heading that soft power the index. So it clearly shows that we have lots of work to do so that we can promote our cuisine around the world. And he also mentioned that how Dr. Bose, who has been empowered to submit a report on the soft power, where he has including art, culture, dance, music, etc., where he has submitted the report to the Honorable Prime Minister and the Government of India. But he says that because he could not include that, but he is ready, that is a very positive point, that he is ready to make a supplement report on the food and the Indian cuisine, which is a requirement of the day today, because we know that wherever we go in the world, all cuisines are available, but the Indian cuisine is very expensive. Might be that the procurement of the raw material from India is expensive because they require the raw material from India, or the real benefit which they are not there, that which they should get from the government of India, they are not getting that benefit, which other countries, as Dr. Bose mentioned, that from China and other countries, they're pushing the soft power by way of even the cuisine also. And that's why the Chinese food, I still remember when we were students or when we were quite young, we have never heard the name of the Chinese food. It started in front of us only, and it became so popular that nowadays everyone in the new generation wants to go for the Chinese food. But we all know the ill effects, and Dr. Bose highlighted the ill effects of a McDonald's or the burgers and all the fast food. But we are not looking our own traditional food, which is one of the best and very healthy food, like idli, which has become a breakfast food in many places of India, but it has to become a thing which can be used and consumed all over the world because of the healthiness of the food. Thank you very much, Dr. Bose. And I am sure, because if you take the initiative, because I would like to inform my panelists as well as the viewers that many of our discussions in our media conference with Lal Goel, the suggestions which came in front of Dr. Bose and which he liked, he has proposed those suggestions, and few of them has been approved by the government, and one of them is the One Nation, One Ration card. So many other suggestions are there which has been approved by the government of India. So let's hope that today's program will also be one of that milestone where whatsoever we are discussing, if we will be able to contribute good thoughts to Dr. Bose, and so if he will recommend, definitely it will be a new history for the Indian cuisine, Indian restaurant owners, as well as the foodies who would like to go and see everywhere in the world the Indian cuisine so that they can enjoy. Thank you very much, Dr. Bose. And from my side also, personally, I am very thankful to you, because you are a person who, whenever whatsoever you talk, you show that it can be done, and you have done it in past, and I hope that you will be doing this time also. Thank you very much, Dr. Bose. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Dr. Deepa Chandran. Dr. Deepa Chandran is MA Economics, MA English, B.Ed, SET, PhD. She is the senior principal, Shri Sharda Vidyalaya, Kochi. She is the president of Kochi Metro Sahodaya. She is state treasurer, Hindustan Scout and Guides. She won President's National Award for Best Teacher in 2016. She won Best Teacher and Principal Award of CBSE 2013. She won Shikshak Shri Award for 2016, Mahila Shakti Shiromani Award 2014 on International Women's Day by Indo-Nepal Cultural Organization, New Delhi. She also won Shikshak Ratna Award for 2013. Sabari Gari School received Honorable Governor of Kerala Appreciation Award for the Guinness World Record of Hug a Tree program with the slogan, Our Tree, Our Life. Manorama News, the Delhi Award for the commitment to social service projects. Mathrubhumi News Delhi Appreciation Award for Seed Program in the school. She was honored by different organizations for services to the society and in the field of education. Welcome Dr. Deepa Chandran on our show. Dr. Deepa Chandran, first of all, congratulations for winning so many awards. I'm sure that this will continue in future also. It will be inspirational for many of the teachers and even the students as well as the principals that how you can win these awards, prestigious awards. This is a very, very remarkable thing. Now, you have heard what Dr. C.V. Anand Bose has spoken, and he is very, very clear. He says our traditional food is one of the best food in the world, and it's a very long history, which I have also read, and Dr. Bose also mentioned about how it was used, and then he wanted to club it, which he feels now that why not we also use that as soft power, which other countries are doing. Unfortunately, India has not even thought of it. But now, as Dr. Bose has put his attention towards this, I'm sure this will become a reality soon. We would like to know your views on Indian cuisine, the lever for soft power. Dr. Deepa Chandran, please.
Namaste, and I'm so thankful and happy to be with this gallery of guests, especially Anand Bose sir and Nalan Shine, whom I've known for some years by now. As an educationist, Sir Anand Bose sir, I have few suggestions which I think you would take it up in a course of your service. I always felt that, there's the ability of the country to attract others because of its culture, its political views and foreign policies, and of course, its food. So what I feel is people realize that there is a huge diversity in our cuisine and culture and have learned to appreciate that with an open mind. But I always feel that whatever habits or whatever things which you want to build, making it popularized at an age or at my age or at the age of, this is not the time. At the right time is to bring that into the generation which is coming up. Because our present generation, that is our children, I being a school principal, I always felt that we talk so much of academia, but we are not practically instilling that physical and mental health which has to be put in the child. And our Indian cuisines are the best because we, as I come from a family of a traditional family where my grandparents and my parents used to prepare the food, not these fast food, what you call it as Goel sir was rightly mentioning, we never heard about Chinese food. We heard now only, and even now the Indian taste of food, which was so natural in our tongues. And that is which attracted me to Nalan's way of, Shine's way of preparing the food, so in the school, I personally feel that farming should be made as a part of our curriculum. Every child through farming, what we learn is actually nutrition. We know about agriculture, we cultivate more, and then we come to understand that what is our health and what is the, so that discussion should happen in the school. Children, the school community, the education should happen in such a way that they should encourage this in the school, so that every stakeholder, including the parents, have to be made aware. Now, what I personally feel the lacking is happening because every parent has also to be educated. To pack in the bag of a child, they prefer is this fast food type, so that no preparation much is needed. But we should understand that in Indian cuisine itself, there is, which is good for the brain, which is good for the body, which is good for our health. And that basics herbs which we use to cook our food is actually needed for our children. It is needed for the future generation, because life is usually, when you call it in a cuisine way, it is, life is like a sandwich. You have to fill it with the best ingredients. So Indian cuisine has all the ingredients which the child has to be, when the child is brought up with, has to have that attitude built up. So this act, what I personally feel from my best knowledge, that Indian cuisine is, it is the good, even it is good for the soul also. So it is food of a country, is the culture, habit, craving, and identity of like our country, as we now understand that it's one of the best soft powers India has to make as an Indian cuisine, as a lasting impression about the country. So food is just one part, because it also helps to showcase Indian hospitality also. When you make a Indian cuisine, the liver for soft pair, because when people walk into our, when we talk about Chinese restaurants, but when we talk about Indian restaurants, actually now when we are bringing up the Indian culture also, our music to hospitality also, the children learn from these type of things. And when we talk about now that we are happy, even I could see, Padma Shri is being given for chefs too. So in a way, we are doing a lot of things. Anand Bodh sir, the government has taken a lot of initiatives for that, and we are so happy about. And that this nation is encouraging, we are recognizing and representing talents. But these type of things should start from the school, so that not only farming, because and when you have this farming in the school, I feel that it benefits everyone, not only to the student alone, because it is affecting every stakeholder of a community. And there is, what I feel, it will help in the local business also. It will help in understanding many things which is associated with this farming. So it should not be like a skill subject, or a subject which can be introduced as a choice of the school. But I think in every Indian school, this should become a part. The people should understand the value of the Indian food, the nutrition behind that. And when the children start appreciating, I'm sure even in schools, when the serving of in the lunch box, or in the lunchtime, or in the snack time, if we encourage the Indian cuisines to come in, I may be criticized for telling this, because many of the places for getting the good, according to the taste of what the advertisement gives to the lips of every child, by showing the different type of ads, which actually children are more attracted. So even the schools or educational institution also feels that is the way of making a profit. But I would say it is killing of Indian culture, Indian heritage, Indian cuisine, because Indian food is very rich. If you take the example of Anand Bodh sir, I think he being a Keralite, he may be understanding, our sadhya has, which is served in the banana leaves. Banana leaf is itself is a medicinal thing. So every part of banana plant can be made for cooking, and which is very good for the children digestion. So these all things, actually, when you ask a new generation, many of them don't know. This unawareness should also be. So we have to educate everyone. We have to educate people, and this should be a part of our education system. Our curriculum should be including this. So I think, eating of the usually we eat the rainbow. So all these rainbows are inside our own content. I was so happy one day when I was able to visit this Null and Shine. shines, he was using the banana, every product of banana plant for making a biryani, which was, like with the Indian. So it's a blend of Indian cuisine, which is made to make it healthy. So I'm sure when he speaks to you, he'll tell you how wonderfully Indian cuisines can be made more colorful, even to attract children to that, because for children, these all things count. So personally, I feel that, Indian cuisine should be made as the liver for supper, but it should come, the basic should come from the school education, and it should be made alert. So that is what I have to put it across to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Deepa Chandran, for giving your views. And Dr. Deepa Chandran is of very strong view of that Indian cuisine is no doubt is the best in the world. But she says that the only problem is the unawareness, because the children, the youth are not aware about our quality of our Indian cuisine. And for that, she recommends that all schools and colleges should have the farming to be included in the curriculum, so that they will understand what are our ingredients, what are the vegetables, and so that then they will understand the importance of Indian cuisine. She says whatsoever we are seeing today, the Chinese and others, very unhealthy, but what we have in our culture traditionally, it's a very, very strong and very tasty as well as healthy food in our Indian cuisine. So she says that why not we include this in our curriculum, so that not only the children but even the parents will also understand the importance of the Indian cuisine. And she says that only the Indian cuisine can give them the necessary nutrients as well as the nutrients as well as the taste of the food. Thank you very much, Dr. Deepa Chandran, for giving your views about this. Now, before I will go to the next panelist, I would like to inform that both our panelists has mentioned about Mr. Shine and his product. So I would like to just play one small video which will show what which showcase how he is using the blending the Indian cuisine in a very, very healthy way. So I'm sure that you would all like to watch that, and let's see that if we will be able to do that.
Ambrosia, the divine drink, the drink of gods. Made from butterfly blue pea flower, has anti-glycation properties, which is excellent for the skin and helps prevent skin aging. Here in our God's own country, we call it Shankapushpam, the flower of Lord Shiva. That means it can help your body fight back against the damages caused by free radicals like inflammation and signs of aging in the skin. Energizes and boosts brain activity. The blue pea flower along with tulsi, the holy basil, has linoleic activity which is extremely beneficial for skin. Put it together in a glass, pour it with hot water. You can see it delivers a complete healthy drink. Don't forget to blend it with honey, which is very important. Here it goes, the healthiest drink. We call it Amrit, Ambrosia, which can really refresh the brain and boost its activity and its function. The butterfly blue pea flower, we call it Ambrosia. Fuel your spirit from Temple of Foodies. Say no to all the blue artificial colors, which is really unhealthy, which is being used in blue lime, blueberry. It is no more blue. It is completely unhealthy. You can substitute it with this wonderful flower, the butterfly blue pea flower. The color will enhance both your taste and your health. So never forget why it is called Shankapushpam, the divine flower or the majestic herb. Here in Kerala we are blessed. Hope you guys will try with this flower. Call it Shankapushpam, call it butterfly blue pea flower. It will enhance your skin. Blended with tulsi, we call it ambrosia, the divine drink, the drink of gods. Enjoy and stay healthy.
Okay, so we have seen how one of the product of Mr. Shine, our next panelist, has created, and it's really so, I can see that the impact, visual impact is so powerful. Then if we will go and taste how it will be. So now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he's Mr. Shine, is also known as Chef Nalan, the owner of very famous Chef's Stop at Kollam. He was inspired by his mother's culinary techniques and became a self-taught chef, combining the skills learned at home and passion for food. His fascination with this art began when he was 19, but he could convert his childhood passion into a full-time profession only at the age of 39, when he opened his dream restaurant, Chef's Stop, the temple of foodies, where he believes that great souls meet to dine. Being a foodie to the core, he badly missed his mother's delicacies. That is when he decided to build a legacy around her memory, bringing mothers from neighborhood. Nalan Shine and his wife Brinda went on to create Geeta's Soul Kitchen, his flagship enterprise and holding group of Chef Stop and several other restaurants. Nalan Shine represents the brand Chef's Stop that embodies a vision: food is medicine. And his mission is to inspire, educate, and promote the importance of healthy eating, knowing that what you eat is what you are. Honoring guests, Chef's Stop is the junction where great souls meet to dine. He is a natural communicator who spends time with customers and educates them on the importance of consuming healthy traditional food of Kerala. Nalan is a firm believer that every customer who enters his restaurant are connected to him, according to the old saying, your vibes brings you your tribes. Chef Stop has a proud tradition of serving homely and traditional food made by mothers, exploring the dimension of cuisine that is rooted in our tradition and culture. Crew of Chef Stop includes many young students with a drive to be engaged professionally. What was originally created to enjoy the flavor of his mother's food has become the heartthrob destination for foodies, both local and international, in Kollam. Passionate about traveling, Nalan has traveled around the globe and has imbibed the taste of different cuisines that he started his own research and development kitchen, introducing lots of signature dishes like Vajapu biryani, Karikin biryani, ambrosia tree, which includes traditional Kerala's delicacies blended with the international cuisine which Nalan relished in different parts of the world. Shine personally takes care in growing his own ingredients and homegrown veggies as far as possible and gets it ready before it goes into the kitchen. The magical motherly touch in his delicacies will make you fall in love. The meaning of food in Sanskrit is bhojana, with that which is to be enjoyed, and he always endorsed the tagline, dine like a king. Although those who are the obesity expert, they might be churning their things because they says that dine like a king, so the people put up the weight. But definitely when he will be giving his views, definitely he will tell us how to dine like a king, but still your weight will be under control. Nalan Shine is also a celebrity chef who hosts the show Chef's Drive. Chef's Drive is on the Go Talk show where Chef Shine hosts the entertaining chat show in which he cooks interesting recipes when the real unsung superheroes get candid about their career, personal life, passion, value, and talent. Welcome, Mr. Shine, Akka, Nalan, if, for coming to our show. And it's very, very our pleasure to be that you are on our show today. And as Dr. Bose has spoken very high about you, Dr. Chandran has spoken very high about your restaurant. Definitely, all our viewers might be also wanted to taste, but at least you will give a very fair idea about your own ventures, how it started, how it is doing, and what are your future plans, everything, and why you have thought to start such type of thing in Kerala, well, when you were doing so well abroad and you are traveling and you have worked in many places. So we would like to know your views, and especially we have to keep in mind about the lever for soft power, so Indian cuisine. So keep all in mind. We would like to know your views on on the Indian cuisine, the lever for soft power. Mr. Shine, Akka, Chef Nalan, please.
Namaste, namaste, namaste. Thank you very much, first of all, for this wonderful opportunity for being here in the presence of these wonderful delegates. I take it as a great gesture and a great honor to be here today. And thank you so much, Mr. Goel, sir, for giving a big brief idea about me, and I'm so much obliged for that. Traveling around the globe, experiencing multiple diversity of culture, food, even being in China for 5 years, being in England, being in Mexico, what I've experienced is they are very fond of their food and they are very fond of their own culture. They keep that aesthetics in a flourished manner. Here in my town, if you see the olden buildings or the historical buildings are being demolished, the olden culture has been avoided, and nobody is taking care of it, even the citizen of India or anybody for that matter. So when I came back here, actually my mom passed away 18, 19 years back. And when I came back here for a settlement, and my wife is basically a Tamilian, what I lacked is basically mother food. So I cannot go to my relatives every time and have my Keralian cultured food. So I thought, like, let me grab all these recipes which I have traveled around the globe and infuse it within the ideas of my mother, which has been blessed with something called great taste buds. So we started up a restaurant while my wife was going for work, and I brought some mothers here, and we started bringing back the local cuisine. Because when eating multiple cuisine or multi-cuisine is not a big mistake. But the only thing is, I saw that eating certain food keep your standard. So what worried me is my traditional food is the highest standard, because when I was in China, Chinese noodles has a big standard. When I was in England, fish and chips was a big standard. Here, I am blessed with one of the best cuisines in the world. Spices and herbs can be infused, and you can always fusionize the food. Say, for example, avocado. Eating avocado is a prestigious thing. You can same way eat peanuts, which is much blessed with multiple minerals and nutrients. But when I ask you to have a peanut or an avocado, people always choose avocado over peanut because they think that certain food keep up their standard. That's the only mistake what I see here. And traditional cuisines has to be taken very seriously in the school structure. When I met Dr. Deepa Chandran, she is very much into cultivating a wonderful generation. So I asked her, seed or weed? Ask your parents. You should feed your kids seed or weed. So that's how it has to begin with. You have to seed your kids in a wonderful manner to make a better generation. And making a better generation, you make a better India. That's a very simple note. We got 1,700 schools only in Kerala. So we have to inject them with wonderful food. What you eat is what you are. Great people said that, not me. So defining a kid to evolve in a better manner. Here only revolving is happening, not evolving. To evolve in a better manner, food is a mandatory thing. And we got an 8,000 years of experience grooming our food. Even idli, the steamed food came from Indonesia. It's not that everything just started from here. But we have a historical thing that soil, climate, culture, and ethnic groups, and even the occupations is connected with the food. So all the 70 million cells or million cells which in our body, you should always understand, don't take it for granted. It is a Ferrari, it is a Lamborghini. You are just driving it until you reach the grave. So once you fuel it well, it's not that this has a taste, this doesn't have a taste. You have to fuel it well. Somebody asked me, why do you add beetroot in biryani? You know, when I saw biryani with a lot of colors, I added beetroot pieces, and the beetroot will release the red color, which makes you happy. The turmeric, which has the best curcumin content, will help you to give the yellow color. Why artificial colors? Why you are paying all your hospital bills? Pay your food bills and enjoy it in a better manner. Infuse your food with better quality products. This is how you can build a better generation. See, your parents and their grandparents have defined a better food plan for you. And Mr. Joel sir was asking me, why dine like a king? You know, in olden times, they used to say, I used to listen to my grandparents saying, when it's food time, even when the God come, don't stand up, finish your food. Annam parabrahma surubam. Food is God. Even while you're eating, don't use your mobile phone. Dine like a king. Even I was in England, I have seen that, I've experienced that. Hi, can I have a glass of water? They keep their standard. In China, they keep their standard. In Mexico, they keep their standard. We have to infuse this and bringing it to soft power. Always understand, we have the biggest resource in the world, and that is the human resource. And making that human resource, fueling them, defining them with better food plan. As you have seen, ambrosia tea is from the butterfly blue pea flower. That flower can make blue line. You can use beetroot to color. Idli, idiyappam, all these are steamed breakfast, which is very important. You know, somebody has told, because I belong to 200-year-old Ayurvedic family, so I have a lot of Vaidya. We call it here the Ayurvedic Vaidya, not the doctors, the Purana Vaidyas. They used to tell me, Shine, your heart has the power of beating it for 300 years. Then what is happening? Food. You are not fueling. You have a wonderful Mercedes car, and you are saying that I'm bored of diesel. I'm going to fuel it with petrol. Are you doing fair thing? You are defined to live in a culture, in a soil where the food is being planned from the generation. You can fuel it in between. Okay, for a bite, you can go for a pizza, for a burger, for something like that. I'm not against all these things. But again, quality matters. The buffalo meat or the chicken meat, which is being harvested in Australia or other countries, has been fed with wonderful wonderful food for them, the cattle food or whatever is it. And they are made for burgers and other things. The butter they use or the ghee they use is high quality. Olive oil. You go to other country, you get the virgin olive oil. It is very expensive. How many places here use such kind of things? So food, when it comes, I belong to Kerala, the God's own country, blessed with wonderful fruits, wonderful vegetables. So I used to tell everyone I meet, this is heaven. You train your kids, you train your family saying that this is heaven. So you will see wonderful gardens around. You will keep your city clean. You will keep your body clean because this is heaven. But we are all taught that we will die and go to heaven, which is the wrong thing. I have not experienced that. Even my mom and dad passed away. They didn't come back and say that they were in heaven or whatever I said. I have not experienced. I'm not saying that. But this is heaven. I have mango. I have vegetables. As sir mentioned, I have jackfruit, which is one of the anti-cancerous thing. And people are getting feared. They are feared of cancer. They are feared of other things. They are feared of diabetic. So eat this, eat that, eat dragon fruit, eat avocado. Why should somebody say that eat this, that you will not get cancer? that is infusing fear. So grooming the kids or grooming the society is one important factor. And bringing it to a business, or bringing, like, for example, the Joseph Nye in 2012, when he spoke about the soft power in Harvard University, he has very much told that, it is very important that the currency of soft power includes culture, political values, and foreign policies. Let us build culture, which is already there. 28 states are there in this country. Every state has a very defined, beautiful food plan. As Dr. Deepa Chandran said, we have Onam, we have a Sadhya, which we only eat in Onam and weddings. It has to come occasionally. We have Parangani. The day before, like the day before, we just put it in the water, and fermented rice prepared in a very special manner. Once we start speaking about it, your mouth will start watering. It is probiotic. It is very healthy. Why you should call it anti-cancer? About green tea. In the recent studies, it is said that it has 0% value in anything. But it has become very commercial. Ads, advertisements, all the superstars here, or all the stars, known stars, talk about certain food and not about the culture of food. They should talk about Parangani. They should talk about very native, very cultured food in between. That has to be taken care. And building that festival, like, for example, Lal Joel sir should be invited to Kerala to enjoy the Kerala cuisine. We'll prepare a festival starting from Unniyappam to Palpaisam. Very, very defined. Halwas, very special halwas. You can have all these things. Keep your body healthy. Why? Because you are driving a Ferrari and not a bullock cart. So once you know that, you will define your food, you will define your family in a better manner, because that's how you build a better generation. Now, coming back, how can you commercialize it? Now I am preparing biryani in banana blossom. It's a Filipino fusionized dish, Asian culture. We belong to Asian culture. Like the Indonesian king brought idli here. I traveled to Asian roots, and I understood that herbs can be used for cooking. Not only this chili powder, or not only other coriander powder. So I prepare biryani in tender coconut, which is an Indonesian Malaysian fusion. So these kind of things will add value to our culture food, which you can bring like other big brands. We have to bring big brands of our traditional food and take it to the world. Now I came back, and when I went to a school, I asked them how many kids want to become a doctor. I saw many hands up. I asked them how many kids want to become an engineer. Many hands up. How many kids want to become a chef? I only saw 5 of them. Chef is not a bad profession. You are giving food, bhojan, as sir read before. Improvise, increase. School has to speak about farmer. Now I have a business card, Joel sir, saying that Shine is a farmer. So my son asked, Dad, what is this? I told, it's one of the first appointed profession in Bible. Say God. God has given, says that he has beautifully made a garden called Eden and asked Adam to take care of it. So that's how it begins. The first appointed job, farmer, farming. Why it is not being a profession here? It has to be a designation here. Then everything will change. I have to say again, one more thing, which is very important, that what you eat is what you are. And food has to be respected like mother. From mother's milk to the grave. Why carry, like once you die, they put a small rice in you, or you give away food. It's all connected. It's all connected. So you take it very seriously that for a better generation, and we have a lot of business motive here. You can improvise your food, you can reculture it, you can use the same ingredients. For example, Joel sir, from the God's own country, I have coconut oil, which I know that it is the only oil in this world which is entirely connected with your mother's milk. I speak in Malayalam. Ammeyude muleppalinodu samyamulla ore oru dravagam, coconut milk. People say that this is no cholesterol. This is, oil doesn't have cholesterol. On the preparation note, if you don't take care of it, it comes over. Now, Green tea or mint tea? Which one has the best antioxidants? Of course, mint tea. Our coffee and tea, which came from traditional things, has a better antioxidants. How many people know about it? Because it is not being spoken out. It is not being branded. It is not being established. So it can all start from kids, and it has to become a brand. My country, my nation, I'm so proud of it. My food culture. You go to any places, you can experience their culture. You can respect their culture. That doesn't mean that eating a burger makes you a king and eating kanji, porridge, makes you a poor man. Never that. Your culture, food has to be taken care. And number two, which I need to say here is Agni, Akash, Prithvi, Vayu, Jal. I have foreigners coming in. When I serve in banana leaf, they say that, do you have a fork and knife? I say, no, sir. You need to eat with your hands. Because here, Agni, Akash, Prithvi, Vayu, Jal, you hold your food with the 5 elements. It is connected. It is all neurologically connected. Blend it well. So your mouth will get prepared how you have to eat. Your brain will start taking signals. Diabetic has become a big disease here. Type 2 diabetic. There's a certain food you can have and you can avoid your tablets, which I've introduced you to Anand Bose sir. I asked him to have it by himself. It can avoid. Food is medicine. There is a saying, if you eat food as medicine, there's no need to eat medicine as food. And another thing, people are so much aware. People are so much educated. People are so much into televisions and into YouTube and saying that health, go to gym, eat that, eat this, no gluten, everything. Then why hospitals are being increased so much? Why? So there is some problem somewhere. We need to find it myself. So I started finding it myself. I started living it myself. I started learning it myself. And I started spending with the right people here. And thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Doctor is one great inspiration because being a lady, I have seen her fighting for an evolution, for a revolution here. And I hope that these things will be taken care. And Dr. Bose sir, thank you so much, Dr. Bose sir, for this opportunity. And Lal Jol sir, your speech was fantastic. Well, thank you. And let us listen to.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Shine, for giving your views. And I'm sure our viewers today got the first-hand idea how the traditional food of India is so important. And Mr. Shine has mentioned how he has gone and have seen abroad how the people are going for their own native food. Like he said, the Chinese are always proud to have their own food, Chinese food, not the other food. While in India, we have seen, which is now very, very common, that at least especially with the young generation, that they are going only for those products or the food which is so-called fast food, and that is either American or the Chinese or Italian or Mexican or Lebanese, but they are not talking about Indian food. So according to Mr. Shine, what we have in our own Indian culture is far, far better than any other food because it's a very, very old culture. And he also mentioned that all types of diseases, because he says that food is a medicine. If you use food as a medicine, you don't require to take medicine. And he has also mentioned the problem in India is that all the celebrity or biggies, they advertise so heavily about those foods which are very unhealthy and which are not as per our Indian tradition. But he says that he has started his restaurant with keeping view in mind about the Indian traditional food, Indian cuisine, with all herbs which he's using, and he's blending them and is giving explaining the advantage to the customer or to the guest, and as well as seeing that how it can be done. He has also mentioned that how the virgin olive oil is very expensive, but abroad people are using. But he says our coconut oil is also as good, rather better than anyone else, if you are using it properly. So there are so many things that, and he also mentioned that the problem in India is that we are not getting the proper knowledge about the food. If we will have the proper food knowledge, and we are ashamed to term ourselves as a farmer, while earlier It was the best profession, but now nobody wants to be farmer. As Dr. Deepa Chandran mentioned, that the farming should be a course in the schools. But it's very unfortunate that nowadays no school, even the government are also not taking that initiative. But I'm sure that our program will definitely send a signal or some advice to the government, and government may come out with some directions so that at least some beginning can start. Thank you very much, Mr. Shine, for giving your very, very clear idea about your the restaurant, about your cuisines, and how you have started this. And definitely, we want that we should have more and more everywhere. But before that, I would like to go and ask the question to Dr. Deepa Chandran. Dr. Deepa Chandran, Mr. Shine mentioned about the advertisement. Don't you think the problem with Indian food is that first thing is the packaging, and secondly the advertisement? Like, I will tell you the example, which I'm sure you will also vouch. When this Maggie was introduced about, I think, 40 years or 45 years back, nobody was knowing, but their punchline was 2 minutes. And we blame the young generation, but we have to take the blame on ourselves. Our generation, for easiness to prepare it, we promoted it without knowing that how much harm we are giving to our own children. And that's why this Maggie became very popular. And today people want, so 2 minutes, I will make it. What do you think? How this trend can be changed? After all, we also can do many, many things. I will tell you after, once you will reply, because I have done some research in this, and I know that how Indian food can also be served less than 2 minutes time if we will do that. But first, I would like to know from you, don't you think it is not the fault of the young generation, but the fault of the generation where we belong? Because the Maggie came when our children were small, at least my children were small, and I have seen that how, because unless you will not allow a child to taste some particular thing, he or she will not come to know about how tasty or not. So what is your take about this? What you think, that it was a fault of this generation or the push given by the advertisers without knowing that how much harmful it will be? What you say about this, Dr. Deepa Chandran?
I totally agree with you. We cannot blame the children, those who are looking into this advertisement and taking the food. It is our generation which has to be blamed, because we basically, didn't want to, many of them did not want to spend their time. They felt that Indian cuisines will take much of the time to prepare it, and it won't look that attractive as the Maggie looks. But I would say in Kerala also we have a food called idiyappam, which is look like a noodles, and it doesn't take much time to cook it, and it can be made so colorful. What he said, Nal and Shine was telling, we have a beetroot, we have natural colors. So if we get a few minutes to know that how Indian cuisines can be prepared within 2 minutes, and that can be done, or even with less time, and it will be healthy. And we also have to make the generation, like our generation, which we're preparing this 2-minute noodles, to aware that love which we show to the child through these type of 2-minute things is actually, we are not loving the children, we are killing them inch by inch, because it is not the right food. So love is through the food they have to show, that has to come to as an awareness. And as Nalan Shine was telling, we all have, as a children also, when we were so passionate about watching, in our time it was Kapil Dev, Ravi Shastri, and that 1983 World Cup, when we see, they were all heroes in the mind of youngsters. So whatever, in the same way now the cricketers or the film stars are the heroes. When they promote something, the children also get into so much into that, and parents on the other side find it that we have only 5 minutes, and it is good that the children also like it and they are also taking it, so let us give them that and finish off our work. But actually we are being criminal when we do such things to our new generation. We have a lot of, as you said, sir, rightly, when we market Indian cuisine, the packages, the way we have to market, it has to be done in the right way. And then And we have to understand as Indians, when we showcase that through our food, Indian food, through our hospitality, through our culture, actually it is our liver for soft power. Indian cuisine is totally the liver for soft power. And I personally feel that.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Deepa Chandran. Now my question goes to Mr. Shine. Mr. Shine, don't you think the research, like you have done lots of research is lacking as far as the Indian food is concerned, although everybody knows the mothers, grandmothers, their recipes are on their tips without knowing, without taking any education in any curriculum, whether they were educated or not, but they knows what herbs and what masalas or pickles or whatsoever thing to be used. But we, today in our generation, we are seeing that the fault also lies with the restaurant people, Indian restaurant people. They are not interested to push the Indian cuisine. They are more interested because by adding ajomocho, you are enhancing the taste without knowing how much harm you are making to the young generation or those who are eating that junk food. Because ajomocho, as you know well, is a very, very harmful thing when you are taking it regularly. And all the Chinese, generally, I will say maximum of the Chinese food, people are using that. Number one. Number two, like I mentioned to Dr. Deepa Chandran earlier, like I have done a research, we wanted to come out with a frozen idli. Because we did a survey and we found that the idli is a thing which is quite healthy and it can be eaten. But the only thing is, to prepare idli is not easy. So we have worked out and we have done the research with one of my person who is having about 100 restaurants in India. And we found that if the idlis can be frozen and it will be put, sale in a proper packaging, you can get it done in 30 seconds by putting in a microwave. 30 seconds, your idli is ready, your breakfast is ready. But people are not supporting. At that time, we found it's not easy to raise the funds for that project because people say, no, India, nobody wants to go for idli breakfast. They will go for, because if they have to go for idli breakfast, they want fresh one. But they forget one thing, when we are eating other breakfast like toast or jam or egg, why we are not eating this idli thing? But so the research is less, awareness is less, and our lack of willpower, and especially the restaurant owners, because they feel this is the trend, we can charge more and we can sell it. What do you say about this, Mr. Shine?
Yes, sir. Ajinomoto, let me start with that. I was in China 5 years and they use this in all their cuisine. Maybe their blood, their genetic has been connected with it, maybe not ours. And coming back to the food, before that, I should say, if I speak to you about, the rice and a little bit of curd, mango pickle on the side, which especially your mother made in olden times with that flavor, take it and blend it very well. And when you bring it to your nose, you get that mango flavor and the curd and a little bit of chutney, your mouth will start watering. This will not happen with the European because our cells are all connected with our food. And coming back to restaurants, why restaurants are doing this is because who is supporting these restaurants? The Indian Hotel Association, the Kerala Hotel Association. Is anybody taking care of them? Every individual wants to do a proper business. I don't think so that people want to be robbed. But see, when I started my restaurant, there was no maida porota in my restaurant. There was no. Can you believe people want to eat my curry? So they went to the opposite shop, bought porota, came to my restaurant and said, sir, I need only curry from you. What should I say? People are ready to suicide. People are ready to go to their hospitals. They are ready to wait and watch the doctor and give a 5 minutes appointment and pay 200 rupees. People are not worried about any pharmacy bill. People are not worried about any hospital bill. But once an omelette, to prepare an omelette, you need 2 eggs, you need coconut oil, you need shallots, you need green chili, you need curry leaves, and all these things have to be fine chopped. You need gas to cook it, and it has to come to a table called Kerala omelette, 30 rupees. If I call this as a cheese omelette, it is 120 rupees. What happens? I just put a little bit of cheese inside the same egg. I rolled it and kept it on the table. People are ready to choose death over life. They have to understand that nothing is cheap. You have to pay price to certain things which has its own value. If I ask a Mercedes car and he say for 5,000 rupees, there is some problem with the car or some problem with the person who sells. When I sell a chicken curry here, I cannot sell it less than 220 rupees for a portion of 150 grams with the GST, with the electricity, and with other things. Same way, people are ready to go to the opposite tuck shop where there's no hygiene. The same plate is washed in the same water, and they call it as a big style of eating. The hands cannot be properly washed because it will be in an old drum where everybody will dip the same bucket, and it's called street food. Sir, I'm not talking about any other country. Let me only talk about China. It's a land of street food, but you should see how the hygiene is being kept. So again, commercializing it is very simple. The only thing that the actors or the film stars or the cricket stars has to be engaged with the government for a certain amount, which will be subsidized in their taxes or whatever for promoting our products. So the kids will get connected to it. The parents will have tough time when the parents will say that eat noodles. No, our Indian captain is having paranganyi, for example, the fermented rice, so he can put a bigger sixer. When Dhoni said that he is drinking milk, the consumption of India's milk increased. Well, kids started taking milk because Dhoni said he drinks a lot of milk. The same way, there should be a structure within the country. Like when I was in Korea, when I landed in Korea, can you believe, sir, I saw the big board of LG because I was working for LG at that time as the marketing manager then. So everywhere I go, LG. And I went to a supermarket and I saw LG toothpaste. I saw LG brush. I saw LG soap. I asked them what is happening. They said that LG, the corporate company, has taken a small village. So rather investing in big stars, they invested in that small village. They made a better school, a better public toilet, a better scholarship, and other things. And they branded it LG. So you wake up and you brush, it is LG. You take a shower, it is LG. Your kids went to school and gained scholarship, and LG hired them the best intelligent kids. Then it is Samsung. There is Samsung cars in Korea, not Mercedes and other things. Of course, there is Samsung cars. The native things have been highly promoted. In other places, LG and Samsung is in big competition. But when I saw it in Korea, it is no in competition. They are together building the country. The same way, we need support from the government saying that our brand is our tradition, our culture. Even the simple way of eating, kids will start eating with their hands. You are holding the 5 elements.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Shine. Now my question goes to Dr. Deepa Chandran. Dr. Deepa Chandran, we talk, we will do this program and then we'll forget. But how to convince, as one of the very great suggestion is that our celebrities should talk. But as you also mentioned that we must put it in the curriculum. But the child is only following what is happening in the peer or the friends. And if we are not doing it in a school in a proper way, as you like, we have a midday meal scheme. And Akshay Patra is one of the leading giving the meals many places in India. Don't you think if we will make it in a total, very hygiene way, the midday meal, and where only the Indian cuisine with the traditional things like what Mr. Shine has mentioned to be used, not from all those ready-made things, it will give an impact on the child, as well as you rightly said about training the parents. And you have to mention that if the tiffin which child is bringing for any breakfast or anything, if you will find anything which is not hygiene or not as per the Indian, they will not be allowed. Do you think it may work something or not?
Sir, I personally feel if we want to do that, naturally it will work. But it has to come from the bottom of our heart that it has to function in our country, because again and again, if we are not doing it, somebody has to build the cat. So I feel the educationist is the right person to do that, because our children have to get into the eating habit, which is good for their health, which is good for their brain, which is good for their body. When I talk as an educationist, why I am so much concerned is I could see the parents bringing in the diabetic, the insulin into the school and asking me for a space to give a child the injection. Can I have a simple question that being connected into a family of doctors, my husband, my daughter, everybody, when we talk about diabetic in children, it is because of the mother's eating habit, because of the child's eating habit. And when we take about the survey of a country, even medically, when we take, India will be the suffering the most. And that is why I always insist, eat healthy. And we have a healthy diet in our system itself, in Indian cuisine itself. And if we do it in our school, I say peers are there in the school, when their friends also start eating. See, I come from a school where we don't say that you don't have to eat in your home, but at school, we are very particular that they should have at least some vegetables and fruits. So we, anyway, when they go out from the parents, they may be eating red meat or whatever it is, but we say it is a campus where vegetable and the food which they bring the home should have, and we ask the teachers to monitor, because, you know, when we make it, and for the time of snacks, we say you can bring fruit salads. And I think Nalan will be able to get you more onto that. The seasonal fruits, which you get it's fresh in your home and nearby home and in nearby places, will be more good for your health than storing things and bringing on to you. So these type of fruit salads and vegetable salads as a snacks, and it can be made colorful, it can be made attractive like any other dish. So having these into the daily life of a child in the school and in through our system of, and when I stressed on farming, I was stressing because farming doesn't mean that you cultivate a thing, but then when you cultivate, you know what is the nutritious value. When you cultivate, you know that when you eat this much of healthy, and when you cultivate and when you have it in your school, that gives a feeling of, you know, bondage too. So it is not only a farming, it has a lot of skill, the bondage which brings in. So Indian cuisine, and then they learn Indian hospitality, they learn a lot many things. So I feel personally, as you said, parking, packaging, making awareness, bringing into them from the childhood, so that even the friends eat. Usually what happens when a child comes to opens the from a KG itself, when they open the tiffin box, they look into others. Yeah, what is that? The other, my friend brought it. They maybe, you know, that colors will attract. So it is, if it is made in schools, that this type of things have to be brought, this to be encouraged. At least let them start. Somebody has to start. So let our education system start. And I'm sure, Indian cuisine is the best. Even I have taken many type of foods, but and when you talk about idli, even idiyappam was brought into the covers, and we could just put it in the hot water and make it. So that type of research also has to come from the food technology side. So that is also a way to, use the Indian foods and made more colorful with the natural products.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Deepa Chandran. Only problem with the farming is that Kerala is fine, but what about Mumbai or Delhi or Bangalore, where there is no space for the schools, even for the playground?
There is many ways which you can do the farming. Even with the grow bags, you can have the minimum amount of whatever you can make. And children can do on your rooftop. You can do.
Okay,
so that's a step forward.
Yes, very nice. So one can very well do. Thank you very much. Now my last question goes to Mr. Shine. Mr. Shine, we have seen a chef like Vikas Khanna, Michelin awardee. He has started his Janoon in New York, became a celebrity overnight, supplying the food to the White House, etc., etc. You have no idea. You are also having some plan to do such type of thing, coming out with a startup, because after all, soft power is basically that we have to impress others. And because what Mr. Vikas Khanna has done, when I visited his restaurant, I found that people are coming there because he is known name for the Indian restaurants in USA. Everybody knows Vikas Khanna because of his proximity with the president and supplying the food and in the event, etc. You have any plan to come out from Kerala, on Kolam, and come out to at least in India, in other places, because In India, we have lots of scope, as you said, why we go up and then go abroad also with a soft power. But for that, you require lots of funds. So why not come out with a startup with a such type of thing? I am sure government will also support because they have a very big, good scheme about the startups. Do you think, or what is your plan in a 1 minute time only?
Yeah, see, being a celebrity chef is not the agenda here. My cuisine, my traditional cuisine is the celebrity, and my guest is the celebrity. Making my cuisine a big hit to this world is an agenda. And I always say my son is my hero. I look up to my son because in African, they're saying that Ubuntu, because of you who I am. So the other way around, we have to think. So my agenda is taking up my cultured food, my traditional food, blend it in a right manner, wrap it in a very professional, aesthetic, beautiful way, and present it over to the world. That is what my mission is about. Calling it Temple of Foodies, where great souls meet to dine.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Shine. Although the paucity of time, so we could not hear more cuisine or more recipes. But what you have mentioned is very, very clear. The viewers you have seen today, that Indian cuisine, all our expert panelists have mentioned, Indian cuisine is the best. No doubt about it. Everybody knows it. With the healthy nutrients and healthy ingredients in that. But why we are diverting, why we are following the Western culture, why we are going for other food when we have that? Because of the advertisement, because of the celebrity, they are getting lots of money from the multinational companies, and they are being bound, as well as the fault lies with the civil society. As I always say, we, for our own easiness, for our that we do not want to work more, we just give the child those 2 minutes Maggie or something which is easy to make. We are not thinking one thing, that we are not only spoiling the child's future, we are giving them something which is, in very cruel word, called poison. And we have to be very, very careful. If we want that India should be a global leader, we must give them a healthy food, and then only once India we will have the healthy food, then we can go abroad with a soft power where we can preach them. See, look, in India we have so much healthy people. Today unfortunately we are the capital of the diabetes. India is called the capital of diabetes. Dr. Deepa Chandran might be knowing. When this is the condition, we have to change that, and then only we will be able to do with a cultural, traditional Indian cuisine. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Karu News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se Samvad Sarocar News, Bharat Post News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day a new topic. And tomorrow our topic is tomorrow is our media conference with Lal Goel at 10:30 a.m. Tomorrow is a thought leadership series, and the topic is management lessons from Ramayana. And our guest is Dr. Naveen Gupta, Director, Hindustan Institute of Management and Computer Studies, HIMCS, Sharda Group of Institutions, Mathura. So he will be giving straight answers of my straight questions about the management lessons from Ramayana. Thank you very much, Dr. Deepa Chandran. Thank you very much, Mr. Shine. And thank you very much, Dr. C.V. Anand Bose, for giving and enlightening all of us. And thank you all the viewers with a request. Please give them the seed, not the weed. As Mr. Shine has a message very, very clear. Children are our future. If we will not think, who is going to think? Thank you.